International Student, and here is my master box, German motorcycle and sidecar, completed. So here is the build, all done. Let's get you set up there. You can kind of get a look at it. Side here, and this is a cool kit. It goes together really well. I had a couple problems with some of the small bits. Some of the framework and the suspension parts are about the size of a 72 kit, 72 scale. Some of the plane and the car that I built was pretty similar, so they're pretty fiddly bits, pretty small. But now that I've got one together, I think the other ones are going to be a lot easier, because once you kind of figure out how the frame has to sort of clamp together. Now, I had some learning curve fails on this one. The frame ended up being a little bit twisted, so the back wheel isn't really what you would consider straight. But the way that the bike sits and the way that it sort of with the side bag on it, you can't really tell. So it's overall not a bad build. For me, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I did it in a lacquer for the first time. I used Tamiya Lacquer paints, so that was a first for me. This was just brush painted, no airbrush at all on this one. Just based it in black and then gave it multiple coats of gray. I used LP36 and LP37 in the Tamiya Lacquer range, just with a brush. I sort of watched the technique used before, so I just thought I'd give it a shot myself. So I don't know, I think the next one I'm going to try to airbrush, try to get more of an even finish, but I think for the weathered paint finish, I thought it kind of gave me some cool modeled effects. So yeah, this is it. All in all, the only problem that I really had was with the instructions. Some of the instructions are just a bit vague as to where exactly things go. Like, there are arrows, but once you get to the kit, I found some of the positionings of some of these parts was a little bit tricky. This part in around in here underneath, and some of these parts going in with the framework in about here. This started getting a little bit puzzling, but I did eventually get it together. So a lot of detail for such a small kit in 35th scale, and all in all, I think they're really great range. There's quite a few of them. Give me a second, I'll pull out the other ones that I have. I have about 5 or 6 other ones that are available. So if you are looking at maybe adding a motorcycle or something like that to your World War II diorama, or actually in my case I'm putting it in a bit of a fantasy sort of diorama, but there are quite a few available with figures and without. So yeah, here, I'll just set this over. I'll get the other ones and we'll take a look at those too. So here is my collection of 35th scale motorcycles and sidecars. I think they all have sidecars. Yep, they do. I have 6 more. A couple of little Laris and some more master box. So here, I'll just set these. We'll take a look at them one at a time so you can see what they look like. Let's just start with the master box, I guess, because that's the one we just finished. Same line. So here's one. Comes with, I think, 3 guys. Yep. So we have the 3 riders pushing the bike. I have a 132 scale Spitfire. I thought might look cool in the air with these guys on a road pushing for all their life, with bearing down on them. I thought, with, you know, in perspective, the 32 scale plane kind of behind these guys, bearing down on them, I thought might be a really interesting build. But there's the one. This is kit number MB35178 by Masterbox, and that's the sidecar with 3 figures. Now this one, oh, here it is, crew. Okay, so I have 5 bikes and 1 with the crew. So here we have a mechanics crew, and it looks like we have 4 figures and the table, the work table. So that's kind of cool. There's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 figures, I guess. Yep. Well, that's a nice setup, and that's kit number MB3560 by Masterbox. And our next one is Troops on the Move And this one has photo etch with it. So we have 4 figures and 1 motorcycle. So I guess we got these guys. So that looks pretty cool. We got winter, 2 different types of season. It looks like more like winter, more like spring or summer, springtime. And this one is Masterbox MB3548F. It might have something to do with those. Yeah, another cool kit. Motorbikes, I think, had a great detail stuff. This one is Letting Off Steam, German motorcyclists. This kit includes pledge to send 1 motorcycle and 4 figures again. And yeah, nice little comical one. Sets you up good for the signage in the road. This one is Masterbox kit number MB3539. And yeah, cool selection of figures. And the figures with the kit. Well, take a quick look at one, but the kits themselves are really nicely molded. The spokes seemed a little bit, I mean, I cleaned them up a bit with some Tamiya glue, because it'll sort of melt that fuzzy sort of, I don't even know if you call it flash, off of there, but yeah, the figure detail's pretty good with these. You know, you got lots of detail to catch. So being a noob at all of this, and especially figure painting, the more detail find, the better, easier it is to paint, because you can use more reliable washes, and sort of gives you a lot more to work with, sort of just with tones rather than actually picking out details. But yeah, let's kind of a look at the details in the figure. Here we have our motorcycle parts, and that's pretty well the same, pretty well sprue that I had. And you can see the spokes are pretty good. I mean, for styrene, it's just when you get in some of these, how they're a little bit flared out. I was kind of scared to get in there with a knife because it's so fragile. Once you break one, then you're kind of befuddled. So I was just using the Tamiya glue to get in there and just sort of melt that. Just try to get it as thin as I could. But 2 screws and some minimal decals for these. And now the next two that I have are Italeri kits. This, I think, oh, it contains 3 figures again. And let's just take a look and kind of compare with what we got. So we have, oh, look at this, we have a single assembly here for the wheel and the fender. That's interesting. And the figures, oh, pretty good detail. Maybe a little bit softer than the Italeri ones. Now let's just take a quick comparison here. You can see. Oh, they're looking, yeah, maybe a little bit softer in the detail. You can kind of see a bit here. But it's a bit sharper with the Masterbox kit than with the Italeri. I'm not sure what the dates would be on these releases, so that would have some bearing on that as well. I don't know how old. I think these Italeri kits are pretty old. I'm sure there's a date on it if I go looking. But construction of the bike looks fairly similar, although this frame structure is a lot more robust than, right? Like you can see that that's a lot thicker than this framework here. So a few differences. We'll see, maybe we should try building one of these ones next, so that we can really get a good comparison. Why not drive myself completely crazy? Start with one I haven't built yet. They're fun though. I think they look really cool when they're done. That just gives you the range, so I guess we get the 3 general figures. And the last one that I got here is another one with Sidecar, and it comes again with 3 figures. Probably looks the same setup. Pretty well same kit. Although no, look, see here we have the, oh no, yeah, we have the wheels. That's there. And different figures, so yeah, we'll have a nice little selection of them anyways. These all came from one guy came from a large collection that he had for years, and he had a whole whack of these bikes. I couldn't say no. I had to take them all, but I'm gonna put them into something, so we'll get them built up as we go along. But anyways, let's get back to the one that we've got here, which all in all, for a beginner like me, for a beginner kit, let's take a look here. Like, for a beginner like me, it was a challenge for sure because of the smallness of the parts. So like I said, there was a couple times, plus I'd been away from the bench for a little bit, so this was my first box kit that I built this year. The others were resin kits that just came unassembled. So yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge, but I'm glad I got it together, and I really like it. I've started to make a little base for it that if you've been following the channel as of late, you've probably seen that I've started to work on a bit of a base, and I've sort of worked it into a fantasy theme, sort of what if World War II sort of thing. And yeah, what if the Germans had this kind of stuff, huh? But this was a resin kit off of AliExpress that I picked up, and it was really one of the first builds I did this year. I did this one and another mech kit that I'll bring down for a review, and you can get a look at it too. But yeah, these are pretty cool. Not too much, around the $20, $25 range, I think they were, with free shipping, I think. And it went together easily. There's no instructions with these. You just have to kind of go from the finished picture. But I thought I'd start making a little base, so I started putting some grass down and started putting together a little gravel road. And this resin kit came with this figure. He's supposed to kind of sit in here and hold the door open. He's supposed to sort of sit like that. And here, I'll spin him around so you can kind of get a look at him from the side view there. And yeah, he's supposed to kind of sit in the cockpit. I've given these guys 2 coats of this stuff, this flat, and this is that the flat clear, and they're still pretty shiny. I don't know, I'm gonna try something else. But yeah, basically he's supposed to sit like that in this thing. So I've kind of sort of set this up with him on the bike instead, and just setting up a little scene where I think this guy's the pilot, and he's just sort of come back from his test drive, and I'm gonna have him saluting this dude kind of over here, you know, from the side. And he's giving him a salute, and this guy here, he sort of fits really well right here. And you look at, there's a canister here and a hose kind of on the side of his leg, and yeah, he sort of looks like he's trying to get stepped up here, if I get him in the right position here, kind of, sort of. And his leg up here a bit, so he looks like he was kind of getting up there. So I think I can get him sort of positioned so he looks like he's just getting ready to sort of step up here and do some sort of maintenance up here. And yeah, set this guy up on the chair, on the seat on the motorcycle. And yeah, basically set up this little diorama. Have his little report to dude here, and the Commandant Clink. Here is getting in focus. He's got a bit of a monocle going on and stuff. So my figure painting is, well, it's coming along. It's not where I'd wish it was, but it's coming anyways. They seem to be coming along a little bit better. as they go ahead, as they go, you know, keep moving forward. But yeah, they seem to be kind of there. I got to start with the eyes. I think, and build the face in, because trying to put the eyes in later is just a mess for me. But you know, for the relative few figures that I've ever painted, kind of happy with them. They add that little bit of life to the thing and make a bit of a story of it. So all I think I have left here for the bike is these little handles. These are the handles for the boxes that go around the sides, so I'm just going to glue those on. I don't think that makes for pretty exciting content, watching me flip around those. And yeah, here's just a resin tarp that I painted up. It was sort of a illusion of a little bit of a camel, just sort of suggested there with it, and a wash and a barrel. And the figures that I used were, this figure came with the tank, and this figure here is a Corey. So a Corey figure. He's a German tank crew, 1944 World War II. And that's kit number CE0043. I picked this up at the model show, so it was just a vendor with a whole bunch of different figures and stuff, and I have no idea if these are still in business or not. I have no idea. Coming out of Korea. And the other figures were out of, where did I put that kit? Here it is, here. We're out of this kit. This old, slide this back. This old tank troops, German tank troops kit. So I used this guy here, and one of the barrels, and this guy, Colonel Klink. And I still have the other ones to add to something. The detail's not so good, but in background to fill up, like I think with extra figures, I think they're okay, for sure. And well worth the value. I think I picked this up for a couple bucks. So no sense letting them go to waste, Colonel. So there is basically my completed BMW and Sidecar. Really happy to have it in the collection. And if you're looking at them and you want a nice challenge, even for the beginner, it's possible, and they turn out looking like this, which isn't perfect, but I think it looks pretty darn tootin'. So I'm going to put together this little diorama, and I'll post up some pictures and vids at the end of this sort of put together, and we'll get started on our next build, which will be our next review, which is two kits actually going together as one build. So we'll be back for that. So here we go.